Stocks Out Racing is back for 2016 with the season opener of V8 SuperTrucks at Okayama International Raceway, which took place last weekend on February 27th and 28th. For Saturday's practice, the weather was warm to say the least. We had an ambient temperature of 81, but it's partly cloudy skies. However, it was Sunday. The track got even hotter as the skies cleared out and the temperature warmed up. Strength of field for the race was 24.71, and pole position went to newcomer Mika Eshaus with a 1:35.1. So the big question everybody had going into today's race is, how do we manage the heat in the tires? It's a hot track, it's a slick track, and it is 100 kilometers of racing ahead, and with the field so close together with 20 competitors. So as we're coming around, notice we got 2 Team Busch Finks in the first 3 rows. We got 3 Blackadder Motorsports trucks, and we have last year's Neo Trans Am Series champion Justin Krudoff. So this first turn is definitely going to be a mad dash, and it'll be interesting to see how these trucks sort out once we get through the first couple turns. Eshaus takes the lead and really jumps on the gas, and we got Justin Krudoff run behind Chandler, and it is going to be an interesting turn 1. Harris is able to hang on to the inside of Krudoff. They're going to go through turn 2. Krudoff and Harris side by side. Andra and King side by side. 2 rows side by side going through turn 2. That is exciting. Through the hardest part of the course, turn 3, and King's taking a really wide line through the first part of it. Always scary to do through there with these trucks. They can get loose in a heartbeat. You see Mika sitting there, getting sideways, coming out of 4, getting all that 625 horsepower down. Further back in the field for 15th, J.D. Legg in the 114 car saw an opportunity of 2 cars having trouble, took advantage of it, had a little bit of a wiggle, but was able to come out relatively unscathed. It's going to move him up the grid, considering he was a late arrival to the race and did not get a chance to qualify. By the time we hit lap 3, we had a battle for 11th between Bart Workman and Aaron Stowe. And this was interesting because Bart tries the inside, Stowe crosses over and holds him off. However, this victory is short-lived. As we get to turn 4, Stowe gets sideways and Workman has a better launch out of turn 4. And turn 4 is very crucial at this track because you have a long straightaway. Trucks are approaching nearly 150 miles an hour at the end of the straight. And lo and behold, who's sitting behind but J.D. Legg again, looking to capitalize on this battle in front of him. Legg appears to have the better truck coming through the revolver here at turn 6. However, Stowe runs wide. Legg's able to get to the throttle. You see the wiggle there as he tries to put down all 625 horsepower, but is able to go through turn 7 and gain the position off of Stowe and begin his chase to Bart Workman as he continues to work his way through the field. On lap 8, the battle for first heats up. Even though Christian Chandler's been pushing Eshaus for the bulk of the race, he is really starting to make a maneuver as you see him take the outside line through 5, trying to set up on turn 6. Eshaus closes the door. They go through turn 6, nose to tail through turn 7, and Chandler is still right there hustling the 237 of Eshaus. Chandler looking to the inside. He has it. Eshaus runs wide, going in through turn 9. And Eshaus holds on to the lead. As they mad dash down to the final 2 corners, Eshaus cuts the corner a little too much, getting him a slowdown penalty. So he waits as we get around the final turn, pulls to the inside, and lets Chandler by so he can serve his penalty. Further back, same lap, battle for 3rd heats up. Cy Andra catches up to the reigning champion Justin Krudoff as they race down the straightaway. And Cy gets a really, really nice drive and is able to beat Krudoff into turn 1. These battles will continue as the race progressed. We spoke earlier about heat in the tires and tire wear. And Andrew Mendes becomes the first victim of this as he spins the car around on the front straightaway. Bart Workman just barely misses him, and that's going to bring out the first full course caution of the day. On lap 15, you see the majority of the field taking advantage of this caution and going for fresh tires to finish out the final 12 laps of the race. However, there's a few drivers that had already gotten tires before the caution, and they got to move up front, namely Cy Andra, Sam Harris, James King, and Nash Hendry. All were able to move to the front of the field. Further back on lap 16, you see Nash Hendry getting really sideways coming out of 4, and without a good spot to file back into the field, he is going to fall all the way back to 20th position. Meanwhile, positions 7 through 14 are all very tightly bunched, and everybody's trying to make that push on the fresh set of tires. You see there that 114 of JD Legg is sitting there chasing down Brian Howard in the 18, and Clifton Cockrell sits right behind in 9th. By the time we get to lap 22, you see Legg has moved all the way up to battle for 6. He gets around Stefan Spontig. Stefan gets on the throttle too much, spins the truck sideways into the track, and then right behind battle for 12, Steve Olaf runs into similar troubles, and you see Spontig there still trying to get out. That's going to bring out the second full course caution, and we'll end up going green again on lap 26. The truck back there was Nash Hendry that you saw going to the wall. He drifted a little bit too wide, got hung on the bumper of Christian Chandler, and went into the wall. Thankfully, nobody else got caught up in that, and the race was able to resume. Since it was the last 2 laps, there was no full course caution for these last 2 laps, so everybody was on edge trying to make that final play. You see S-House and Andra battling it out through the revolver into turn 7. Mika's got the inside, Cy's got the speed on the outside. Kruloff is sitting there right behind waiting to pounce if something were to go wrong. S-House gets on the inside of Cy, makes a clean pass, able to hold the inside into turn 9. Krudoff goes on the inside, gets under Cy. Cy tries to close the door, not soon enough. Krudoff's going to get around and get second place. And further back, there is chaos as Christian Chandler and Steve Olaf get side by side, get each other loose. Steve Olaf just ends up getting sideways in front of the number 113 machine of Pete Costanzo. And there you see Bill Kreutzer, who ran with us last year, having some engine troubles due to some damage earlier on in the race. On the final lap, turn 9, JD Legg makes his final pass on James King. Coming through the final 2 turns, can he hold on to it? King is pushing hard. Cockrell is looking for that opportunity to take 5th place, followed by Brian Howard and Sam Harris. And King runs into trouble. He goes wide, smacks the wall, and that's going to cost him a number of positions right there at the finish. It's really a heartbreaker. But today's race winner was Mika Eshaus for Team Bushfink Racing in the 237, followed by the number 46 of Justin Krudoff Racing. In 3rd place, Cy Andra from Blackadder Motorsport. So as we look at the race points, you can see we've got a lot of close racing here. Drivers moving up and down the field. Unfortunately for Sam Harris, he encountered a penalty on the last restart, and he would be given 18th place. So that leaves Mika Eshaus with a nice 4-point lead over Justin Krudoff and Cy Andra. So we should have some very exciting racing ahead as we head towards round 2. Definitely know that James King and Sam Harris are definitely going to make up the loss of positions and loss of points this round. One last thing before we go, we do have the Road vs. Oval Championship returning for 2016. At the end of round 1, Road beat out Oval with 38 points compared to Oval's 35. Expect Oval to really put in a good show next week. Speaking of which, we'll be at Homestead, Miami, Road Course B. Saturday again, as always, is open practice starting at 1600 GMT. And then Sunday, our race day events, which is warm-up, qualifying, and the race, which that session will open at 1800 GMT under league sessions. So we look forward to seeing everybody this weekend, and until next time, keep it between the lines.